In Wes Anderson's Moonrise Kingdom, a pair of young lovers flee their New England town, which causes a local search party to fan out and find them.
Dear Susie, here's my plan.
Dear Sam, my answer is yes.
Dear Susie, 1.
Dear Sam, where?
Dear Susie, walk 400 yards due north from your house to the dirt path which has not got any name on it. Turn right and follow to the end. I will meet you in the meadow.
Who's missing? Shukusky, you in there? Jiminy Cricket, he flew the coop.
Although I have not seen all of Wes Anderson's films, I completely understand his style. I've seen it many times. I've seen bits and pieces of most of his movies, so I knew what I was getting into with Moonrise Kingdom, and I was excited. I thought it looked great from the trailer, and I mean, like I said, I thought it looked kind of along the lines of everything else he's done, and I hear good things. So I was really looking forward to Moonrise Kingdom, and I didn't realize it was a limited release, so I unfortunately was not able to go when I wanted to when it was released, but I did finally get to go see it, and I not only thoroughly enjoyed it, but I will absolutely be checking out every single one of Wes Anderson's films now. The only reason I haven't seen all of his films is just because I never got around to it. Nothing against him. I have no problem with this kind of quirky style, although I wouldn't even call it quirky. I don't know exactly what the word is. I'm sure that someone's come up with a good word over the years, but I have no problem with that. In fact, I quite enjoy it because this film, and I imagine all of his films, it just feels like a director making the exact film that he wants to make, and there's such a charm to that that you can just feel through the movie, and I think that that's awesome. So specifically, Moonrise Kingdom, I thought that towards the end, not towards the very end, but like just before the end, like the beginning of the last third, that's really confusing, excuse me, but I thought it got a little bit too hectic and too much was going on, but then it kind of leveled out a little bit. Overall, I would say, though, that I was primarily very surprised that the kids were the focus of the movie. I knew that they were the storyline, but I didn't know that Wes Anderson was basically going to have them carry the entire film. I assumed with a cast like, you know, Bill Murray, Edward Norton, there's a ton of people in this movie. I thought that they would be in it way more, and they actually were not in it anywhere near as much as I expected. But getting a little bit more detailed with Moonrise Kingdom, the plot I thought was great. I thought it was adorable. I thought the whole movie overall was adorable, but the story of the kids was great, and then there was a lot to it. It's almost like it was hidden under kind of a simple movie. Like, it seems like a simple movie, but there's so much beneath the surface, and so I thought that was great. There was a lot of very adult themes, like you know, the kids not that they're not being wanted, but they, you know, no one can handle them and stuff like that. So I thought that was very interesting, and I also thought that everything about the Scouts, just the fact that this whole thing had so many Boy Scout things in it was hysterical. It was really, really funny, and Edward Norton's character was fantastic. I mean, once again, I will get into the acting, but his character was written so well. I thought that was a great character. All of the characters were written really well, but his stood out for me just because by the end, you know, I mean, I'm not going to give anything away, but I just thought his was really good. I also thought the dialogue was really good, very Wes Anderson. Like I said, I haven't seen all of his films, but I've seen enough to have known what I was getting into, and I just think it's great, and I was laughing a lot. There's a lot of funny stuff. Directing-wise, like I've said multiple times now, Wes Anderson, this is a Wes Anderson movie. Haven't seen them all, but I know what he does, and this was exactly as expected. I, once again, felt a charm from the movie because you can tell that he's just making exactly what he wants to make, and that's just awesome. And it almost feels like the kids made the movie, you know, in a good way, not in a bad way. It feels very much like a high school class project or something, and that's also due in part to the acting, which I will get into in a moment, but and this is in a good way, of course, and, you know, once again, maybe all of his films, you could say the exact same thing, I don't know, but I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. Also, the camera work is great. There's some really cool panning shots, especially in the start, but yeah, the camera work is very good. There's a lot of great visuals, a lot of, you know, symmetry, which I thought was very nice, and once again, this is a Wes Anderson thing, but yeah, I definitely, like I said at the start, it makes me really want to watch all of his movies right away, because I'm sure I've been missing out. And finally, the acting. Now, like I said, the acting felt also like sort of a kids made the movie thing. It almost felt like the adults in the movie were just kind of having fun with it and being told what to do, you know? And, like, I almost feel like I'm saying something that makes it seem like they were bad by saying that, but I don't mean it like that. I mean it in a good way. Once again, sort of they were charming. It all fit together in that way. It's a little hard to explain because it's not that they didn't have depth to the characters and they were just goofing around. There was a lot of depth to the characters, but there was also... It was whimsical, but that's not even the right word. They were silly. They were kind of silly, but also they had depth. So it's just a really good balance of that. But I have to say, once again, the kids did a great job. The kids really held this whole movie up. Jared Gilman and Kara Hayward, I don't know that their acting in this movie would have worked in another movie, but because it's this movie, it worked very well, because it's the same type of thing I just said. It's kind of silly. I don't know if maybe they can act better than that and they were keeping it simple, or if this is exactly what they were capable of doing and it just worked out really well. Either way, in this movie, that's all I can speak for, I thought they were very good. They worked very well, and it went along with the style of the whole movie. Jared Gilman was hysterical. Kara Hayward was great too, but Jared Gilman, you know, he stole the show in a lot of scenes. Especially the one thing that comes to mind right now is the dance scene on the beach. Hysterical. He was great. Also, just all the faces he makes and stuff in the movie where he's just kind of like, okay. So funny. So funny. And there are too many people in the movie for me to get super detailed about it. I don't have anything specifically to say, I don't think, aside from, like I said, Edward Norton's character. But I thought that everybody did a great job. I thought that everything about the movie was great. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I had a blast with it. I thought it was adorable. Thought it was charming. So let me know in the comments what you thought of Moonrise Kingdom. Let me know what you think of Wes Anderson, I guess. Is this pretty much exactly Wes Anderson? Was it a little different? Was it better, worse, whatever? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of the cast. Did you think everybody did a good job? What did you think of the kids, specifically? Because they, once again, I think they kind of made, you know, this was their film. Let me know if you thought they were good or bad, or if you think, like I did, that they worked in this, even though they might not have in another movie. Let me know anything that you want about Moonrise Kingdom, and that's pretty much it.
I'll be out back. I'm going to find a tree to chop down.